What's raging, gamers? Good morning. Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK?
Oh, you know me. As always, I'm doing amazing. How about yourself, Chris?
Oh, I'm excellent. You know, it's actually starting to feel like winter in Southern California. I mean, it's been like oddly sunny, and now we got a little bit of drizzle going. So everything's all good because you know what that means. When it's hoodie season, that means you stay indoors, and we're gaming all day, every day, baby.
Absolutely.
Hey, but you know, this weekend it was definitely popping up. I know we always like to start off the show with the bang and talk about all the things circulating all across the globe. And Fortnite OG has captivated the gaming world. And a lot of us feel like pros all over again. But you know, you told me something kind of interesting in pre-production meeting. You still haven't jumped in? What's wrong with you? Do I need to check? You're good? You don't have a high fever? Like, what's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. I don't know. Fortnite and Battle Royales, it's just like, even, I play Apex, but even in Apex, I don't actually touch the Battle Royale. I do the mixtape playlist of Capture the Hill, or King of the Hill, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then Deathmatch and Gun Run. So, like, I don't really know. Battle Royales at this point, I think they're kind of like they've run their course for me personally. But that's just me. That's just me.
That did have its biggest day ever, and I think the real issue that HenricK is not saying is he's afraid to get sweat by these cats. And this guy, man, he was feeling himself. He felt like he was a professional gamer himself.
Attention all Fortnite users! I am back! Just dropped a casual one bomb, 20% accuracy, and posted on my Snapchat story. Let's go!
That's HenricK's biggest fear.
Hey, I mean, that dude being, if he's on my team, hey, at least he's putting in the effort,
Yeah, hiding in a bush.
Can't always expect that from people.
Yeah, exactly. So the first comment that we got here is 20% accuracy with one kill makes this even better. At least he took it out on Fortnite and not a school. Oh, God.
Oh.
Bro switched to an even shittier mic halfway through the video. Yeah, I think that's the funniest part about jumping back into it, duos and squads. You got all walks of life jumping back into Fortnite. And it is such a phenomenon right now with Fortnite OG map that everybody's doing everything to their best ability to play this game while it's around, because it's only going to be available for 1 month. And man, is there any place that you could think of, HenricK, that is totally off limits to play in video games?
What do you mean by that?
Like, is there a certain place that you should be playing video games? Like, maybe don't whip out your Switch in a courtroom.
I mean, yeah, sure. Is
there a certain thing that you just don't do? I mean, if you're about to make love in the bedroom, do you not whip out the PS5 and turn it on? Or is there a no to certain things, or is it game on?
Oh, most likely, yeah. I mean, right time, right place. But hey, maybe some people don't always follow that. So I'm kind of imagining what kind of clip's gonna play right now.
Well, everybody is been seeing this video circulated online, and I'm gonna let you gamers decide whether this is a yay or a nay, fam.
The face of disappointment.
That was hilarious. So people were quick to jump all over this video. First comment that we got here was, I'd be embarrassed if her parents saw this video. Well, with 17,000 likes, I'm assuming the parents have seen this video.
Yeah, probably.
Poor kid never stood a chance in this world. Go ahead and get him signed up for therapy. And plot twist, you are the child. So now that you think about it, now that you've seen it, is that okay, HenricK?
I mean, maybe not the full setup that he had. Maybe you just play a game on your phone, or if you have one of those.
Fortnite on the phone. You want to play OG?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Not through the iOS device.
Well, sure, not on iOS, but I'm not an iOS user.
Oh,
Chris.
No. Is this Team Android all over again? Hey, well, there you go. I guess us Apple fans were left out. But hey, you know, a lot of great clips have been circulating. Everybody's been enjoying a lot of the old school elements of Fortnite and, you know, shopping carts, man. I mean, everybody loves those OG effects where you could just kind of keep toggling on that button to try to push that shopping cart. And not everything goes well when you're using a shopping cart in Fortnite. And we're going to show you why that's the case.
Yep, I'm dead.
What the fuck is he doing?
Oh shit.
I think the cart pushed him off, bro. What the fuck?
My boy,
You know,
laughing like he's, oh, go for it.
I was gonna say, I think that card has more kills than some people get in this game.
You ain't lying, fam. I mean, that dude, you can't help but laugh with him. He sounds like Tom from Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
When he's laughing.
Yeah, he really does.
And so the first comment that we got here was, bro's got the most contagious laugh I've ever heard. I feel like he'd be such a fun guy to be in a squads with.
Mhm.
It's the guy dying laughing that got me dying laughing right with him. Okay, don't drop that, okay? Dying. That's a lot of dying in one comment. Bro probably still laughs at people doing peekaboo with them. Who's the child now? Everybody's got to embrace it, man. I mean, everybody's in their fields, and trust me, we're going to be talking about the biggest day ever for Fortnite later on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, because we're only getting the party started right now. So what do you say, HenricK the Wreck? Is it time to rock and roll?
Absolutely. It's time to rock and roll, time to rage.
Hey, I think it's time to rage, fam. But before I start hitting that transition, I think this is an important cue to let all the viewers know. If you like what you're seeing right now, you might as well hit the like and subscribe button so you never miss a live show. So let's go ahead and kick off this show with the bang, and let's get it started, fam.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the latest iteration of the 2D platformer that Mario games are known for. The series has been around since 1983, and you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't at least know the name. So let's see if the new game is good by first taking a look at the gameplay. The gameplay of Super Mario Bros. Wonder doesn't stray too far from the previous games. If you've ever played a side-scrolling Mario game, you'll feel right at home. Wonder, of course, adds in some features that previous games didn't have. These features range from new power-ups like the elephant fruit that turns your playable character into an elephant, or even the titular Wonder Flower, among many others. The Wonder Flower, in particular, is a spectacle when it is activated, and the effects can vary from level to level. Regardless, it is a nice addition to shake up the gameplay from the traditional side-scrolling platforming. Another addition added in is called Badges, which lets you add extra abilities to your character, something much needed due to the characters themselves not having any varying abilities. But how about the story? Is it even important? The story in this game is not going to win any awards, but it's good enough at setting up the premise for the gameplay. It starts out by Mario and friends getting an invitation from Prince Florian of the Flower Kingdom for a demonstration of a Wonder Flower. Then, as expected, Bowser comes in and ruins everything by taking the Wonder Flower for himself and combining with the Flower Kingdom's castle, creating a floating battle fortress. It is then up to Mario and friends to stop Bowser, and as usual, we'll have to go through his minions first to get to him. Altogether, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the side-scrolling platformer at its best. But now, the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
You know, this game was actually kind of surprising because it came and no real marketing, I feel like, was out there from Nintendo to get this in the eyes of gamers, and it kind of got overshadowed by all the other games that came out at the same time. And that's why when I played it, I was like, okay, you know, starting off at least, I was like, okay, I'm expecting this to be like another one of the new Super Mario Brothers games that came out on the Wii and the Wii U. It's not entirely like that. Partially, really, just because of the fact that there's the new effects with the Wonder Flower and the new power ups. So it is a different experience, but like I said in the video, it also at the same time is very familiar to anyone who has played a Mario game before. That DNA is still there and it's not gone away. So you'll be able to, pick things up pretty quickly if you've played any Mario game. I would say though, and I've heard this from multiple people who have played the game, and I really agree with it. It's the fact that this game really does feel like a true iteration on what we know from like the SNES time.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Wii and the Wii U new Super Mario Brothers, those games were great, and they were basically like a really polished, refined version of the original Mario games. But this one feels like they really took what was good about the original games, and now they decided, okay, let's put in some new stuff so that people aren't, just playing the same thing all over again. And maybe you might call me a Nintendo fanboy for that, but I think it's a great game personally. I'm not sure if it's necessarily going to be a game that, if you don't have a Switch to go out and go buy a Switch to go play.
True.
But if you already have a Switch by this point, you're probably going to be able to, go pick this up at some point and have a good time, I'd say.
Yeah, I think those are all great points. I mean, it's a beautiful iteration of the 2D side-scrolling game that we all love when it comes to the Mario universe. I mean, this has one of the largest cast of characters to this date when it comes to this style of play. I think it's really, really fascinating. And I mean, what a perfect title for this game, Wonder. I mean, there is so many wonderful things that come, the vibrant colors, the scenery, the storytelling's very cool. It's fun for all kids and even older adults. Don't kid yourself. I mean, it's a very, very fun game. I think adding in what you were describing in your video, the flower effect, that really brings a fun element, especially when you can get the, like, let's say the elephant fruit as well. I mean, there's a lot of fun factors that make it really, really cool. And they do say this is the first game where you can actually do co-op online with the story mode. So that's a big plus. I mean, I think a lot of gamers have been calling for this when it comes to these kind of style of games. But I don't know about yourself, HenricK. It did feel a bit short, the story, but that's okay. That's why you're going to want to repeat it. It's fun for the whole family. It's a beautiful rendition. I'm all year in 2023, I've been kind of clouding, the Nintendo Switch a little bit just because it always feels like they don't really, cater for the adult audience. It doesn't really matter. This game is not meant for just the 18 plus. It's fun for the whole family.
No, absolutely. And I will say in 2023, we've had great games, but we've also had really bad games, unfortunately. It's kind of like a dual-edged sword in that sense. And this game, it has that Nintendo polish, and it's nice to see that at the end of the day, Nintendo still cares about delivering a good product, at least when it comes to their big name titles like Mario and Zelda. Those games, they always come out really polished, and this is no exception. This game has great animations from top to bottom. Like, you actually can see the little details in characters' faces, which I think that's awesome. Like that they actually took the time to make sure that the little details like that were even accounted for. And that, I mean, that actually is really something you can applaud, especially when you have games like Gollum coming out this year.
Oh, you had to bring Gollum into the mix, Mario.
Like miss the ball on terms of, making a good game experience. So, yeah.
And it's like, as you highlighted in the pause or repeat video, I think the badge is a really, really fun factor that kind of needed to happen when it comes to, the side scroll Mario games. You can be old school for as much as you can, but, when you're in the year 2023, it's time to revamp and reinvent the wheelhouse. And, Nintendo did an excellent job with this game. So it sounded like we're calling a repeat on this. I mean, I don't speak for HenricK the Wreck. He's going to have to say it himself.
Yeah, I believe I'm going to repeat this at some point.
You're speaking from your heart, not your chest. Believe.
Yeah, exactly. Because I would see myself. I would see myself playing this again, maybe on a higher difficulty.
Yeah, you're gonna
where
want
I take off all the badges and all that, and see if I can get through the
Oh.
game with all the difficulties in my way.
You're gonna be
and I
like
think
one of those
that's
cats to
something-
speed run.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually something that's a good point to bring up. I think that the community is going to like this game moving forward too. Things like the speedrun community are going to definitely play this game and try to speedrun it as fast as they can, put in some challenges in the way so that they can, just have a good time playing the game. And that's what the game's all about, just having a good time. And really, that is what games are all about. Just sit down, have a good time. That's it.
It's true. Hey, you heard it here first on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. And as always, HenricK the Wreck, what a badass video. Way to set up the tone. But listen, folks, we got so much more here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So you ready to rock and roll, HenricK the Wreck?
Absolutely. It's time to move on forward.
What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK the Wreck and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. Last month saw quite a few video game releases, including a couple of Game of the Year contenders like Alan Wake 2 and Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and the huge PS5 exclusive that is Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It's already a jam-packed year of great games, but there are still 2 months to go, and the release schedule looks promising. The third entry in the rebooted Modern Warfare sub-series of Call of Duty is just around the corner, and the campaign follows up on the events in Modern Warfare 2, featuring a new antagonist, the ultra-nationalist terrorist Vladimir Makarov, teased at the end of last year's game.
It is a battle of perception. If you control what people believe, you control the world.
Makarov's writing his own rules.
My comrades, we stand reunited!
You want some war?
The time has come to show them the meaning of true power.
Available November 10th. Pre-order and play the campaign now.
So, as you can see, we always like to grab comments just to kind of get a feel of what gamers are feeling about these top games releasing in the month of November 2023. First comment that we got is, every shooter game wanted to be Call of Duty, and now Call of Duty wants to be PUBG. $70 for a DLC is insane.
Absolutely.
The fact that 2019 Warzone map is recycled to make up half of the campaign maps is shocking. And the online maps are just Modern Warfare 2 maps from 2009. This has been something that we've been discussing for almost a couple months now. People are just really irked, really ticked off, especially since you now see the success with Fortnite OG map, essentially giving it away for free. And I understand that's a free-to-play game, but you know what? A lot of these kind of stuff is just like, develop something new. Come on, man. I mean, when you release a game like almost literally 1 year after the last launch, people expect something refreshing, not something that's rehashed. And I know there's been a lot of people struggling. I don't know about if you saw it, like Dr. Disrespect, HenricK the Wreck, trying to, early beta allows you to start the campaign mode. People can't get in. It's already starting to crash already. It's kind of crazy because I know a lot of people are excited for the online play. That's why this is a top 3 game. But do you see it having more success once it actually gets closer to the release date on November 10th?
Potentially. I mean, I've seen plenty of choice words about the game already, and I'll leave my full criticism for when we do a pause or repeat. But I don't know. I feel like they need to really change up their formula at this point, because a yearly release of the same game over and over again, or like that comment said, more of what feels like a DLC expansion.
Yeah.
For $70, I feel like I'm going to want a bit more than what they're offering.
Well, especially when the campaign also is just recycling the Warzone map. Like,
Yeah,
you expect to
that's
get
ridiculous.
something brand new, especially if I'm paying $70+. You know, that is ridiculous. But there's going to be a lot of people going out spending money. And if you are one of those kind of people, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 releases on November 10th on the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and PC. But the next game that we got that needs to be on your watch list is RoboCop Rogue City, which features an original story set between the events of RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3 as the city of Old Detroit is hit by a crime wave. The game promises choices matter system where your decisions can determine the outcome of your missions and citizens' fate. You'll be protecting the innocent and upholding the law with an assortment of 20 guns, cyborg strength, and unupgradable cybernetic abilities. If you haven't seen the gameplay or just a kind of a look on this game, we got you, fam. Let's go ahead and take a look.
What would RoboCop be without the legendary Auto 9? To fight crime, you've got your service weapon, of course, but also your cybernetic abilities, which you can upgrade to suit your style of play. You can also use your enemy's arsenal or take advantage of the environment to face down the most dangerous killers and fight fire with fire. RoboCop Rogue City will be released on November 2nd of this year. So if you've got plans that day,
then you are going to need a new plan.
So as you can see, that is RoboCop Rogue City. And let's go ahead and read the comments, because the first person that we got here is, really makes you feel like buying that for $1. Ooh, these developers deserve care. They did way better with the source material than Disney or reboots. They deserve to be praised for their care and work for RoboCop and Terminator games. $1 though?
Yeah, $1.
Kind of lost me there for a second. It was so passionate. These guys can make one hell of a Die Hard game. Well, okay. People are seeing it, they're getting excited. Tried the demo. This game brought back the true role-playing essence of the role-playing games of the 90s with excellent, cohesive storytelling. This shows you don't need to be a AAA game with diluted, cheesy narratives or microtransactions fueled multiplayer experience to deliver. So the game is out today on the PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. So it does sound promising. Is this something that you're going to be scoping out?
Oh, definitely. I've heard great things of it already. I haven't had a chance to jump into it yet, but all things I've seen look actually really promising, which it really is like a sleeper game that came out of nowhere at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different generation. I mean, I wasn't necessarily like crazy about RoboCop the movie, but the game does look fun, and it makes you want to revisit that experience, because you know you got to give it some credit. I mean, it was a different time when they were developing movies. Let's just put it that way. But a lot of diehard fans and potentially newcomers will be introduced to the world of RoboCop, and I'm sure that's what they're hoping for. So then they can readapt the series for a future audience. So hey, put that on your watch list, fam. But the last game that's going to be in your top 3 most watched, or you got to look out for this game, man. This is announced during the June 2023 Nintendo Direct. Super Mario RPG is a full remake of the 1996 Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars for the Super Nintendo. I was 3 years old when that game came out, so that's basically all you need to know, fam. But rebuilt from the ground up, the remake will feature 3D graphics and an updated soundtrack with the option to switch back to the original music. The Super Mario RPG remake also adds some new battle mechanics, an easy mode for HenricK, now just playing, and a more difficult boss rematches in the post-game.
During your adventure, you'll encounter bosses with colorful personalities. After clearing the game, you can fight some of them again. But these powered-up bosses aren't gonna be easy. Set off for adventure with Mario and Friends when Super Mario RPG launches on the Nintendo Switch system November 17th. Pre-orders are available now on Nintendo eShop.
The reason I wanted to highlight that there was an easy mode is because that's been all over the description for Super Mario RPG. That makes me laugh. I mean, are people not ready for how difficult games were back in the mid 90s? Like, we've been pretty catered upon when it comes to RPGs. I feel like when this game comes out, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be very difficult. Are we going to be having some hair-pulling moments when it comes to Nintendo, HenricK?
Potentially. I mean, yeah, games were just built different back in the day, I guess.
I have a feeling it's going to be like that. I mean, one of those games that I've been hyped up playing this year is like Sea of Stars. Gamers, if you haven't heard about it, you should go ahead and check it out. I've been, a little hesitant to want to play like 16-bit games, but I started playing this one. It's been fun, but I've been stuck. I'm like, oh my gosh, these old school games are like so frustrating, but you want to keep playing it because you want to know the final result, the final outcome. And I feel like this game is going to give you that kind of sense, but that'll be cool because then you're going to know that you kind of get your money's worth, but hopefully it's not like a 9-to-5 job because we all know we don't want no Bloodborne. We don't want none of that happening. So,
What's wrong with Bloodborne?
We'll save that for another day because I know that's a lot of people's favorite game of all times. Not necessarily mine. But when it comes to Super Mario RPG, it could be a very promising game. It's going to be releasing on November 17th exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. So let's go ahead and start to switch gears. We're here live with patch notes, and HenricK the Rex set the tone. What are we here to talk about?
Yeah, so Fortnite. Fortnite's been in the headlines for a while now, and the big reason why they are now is not because of some controversy or anything like that. It's actually a positive note this time. They just had their biggest day ever thanks to Fortnite OG, with over 44.7 million players jumping into the game and playing for a combined total of over 102 million hours. Which is amazing. That is a crazy amount of time put into a game, and a crazy amount of people playing all at once.
Right.
But that's actually according to the unofficial but reliable stat website Fortnite.gg. And Fortnite has also had its highest concurrent player count ever on November 4th, with over 6 million players battle royaling at once. Now, like we've said, I haven't played the game yet. I haven't had the chance to go in and, try out the new map. I played the original map back in the day when the game first came out, and that's when I stepped back and said, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. But hey, it's great to see that people are having a good time. But some people are having maybe a little bit of too much of a cringy, like let's clickbait. Try to get some attention here, get some clout. And we
do. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I mean, it does. It's fear. It's. I guess we'll let the video speak for itself, right? I mean,
we have videos to show.
It's so fake. The hype is real, but this is fake, fam. Let's go ahead and check it out,
dude. Look at it. Wow, it looks so good, man.
We back! We back! We back! We are back! I'm 12 years old again! I'm 12 years old again, bro!
Oh my god! Doug, what is going on?
Dropping. 102 million hours, right? Okay, so let's break that down. If that is the case, then let's see. 1 million hours in a year is 114 years. That's insane. So we're not going to continue the math. You can go ahead and do that on your own. But that is incredible numbers to see that Fortnite OG has been blowing up the scope of the gaming world. And let's go ahead and read the comments because everybody wanted to speak out on Fortnite's biggest day ever. First comment that we got here is, if Epic could make this a permanent mode separate from their storyline, it would probably be the best move they could make. It would keep so many people around. For all the people still complaining, just know you're never going to be happy because it's not the gameplay you miss, it's the memories you miss. Ooh, I think she's talking about you, HenricK the Wreck. What do you have to say?
Well, I mean, nostalgia has a good part to play in this.
I uninstalled the game back in chapter 2, and when I heard the OG map returned, I immediately reinstalled the game. It feels so good to be back. Playing the OG map made me realize it wasn't Fortnite I missed. It was the good time with the friends that happened to be on Fortnite. I started 2 years ago, and this season is becoming my number one. The idea of it being simpler, etc., is perfect. The map even feels more bright and sunny, which is oddly nice. Overall, I think they're experimenting with this season, seeing how players like it and react to the OG style to then consider ideas for future seasons. If so, it shows how much they care about the community. Huge merit. Or it's that they just laid off 900 employees, but we'll save that for later in batch notes. And I don't know about the pump, but I'm really enjoying the original heavy shotgun. It's just so much more fun to use. That's funny because all of my friends over the weekend, we all thought the pump was way better than the heavy shotgun. But hey, we can all agree to disagree. But those are incredible numbers that you're seeing. And, HenricK, it's crazy to think that this nostalgia factor from just 5 years ago is causing a resurgence in Fortnite's popularity, but I don't think it's unreasonable. Now that you think about it and you see the comments, people are very jiving with this. Why do you think this is working out in Epic Games' favor?
Well, we've seen it already even this year that remasters and remakes are usually really, really hyped up, even if they don't deliver the product at the end of the day. They have a lot of hype behind them. And the biggest example, not from this year, but biggest example I can think of off the top of my head is World of Warcraft Classic, which didn't pull in the same numbers that Fortnite's pulling in, mind you. But when that game got announced that they were going to go back to the original version of the game and relive that whole experience from the start, everyone was so excited because, especially in that case, they didn't even think that that Blizzard would ever want to do that. Because in a live service game, once you get to that point of, you have several updates and several big expansions, going back to the beginning is something that developers don't always look at, even if the fans want that. Because, when a game has so many changes, like even Fortnite, over the course of its time being out, there's been so many changes and so many additions to the game that when you go back to the original version, yeah, it's simpler, but that is kind of the joy of it. It's simpler and it's easier to wrap your head around it. And there's also the nostalgia to play into that as well, which you're never going to be able to relive the whole exact experience the same way it was when you first played it. But it's still a good way to have some fun. And I would like to see some more live service games do this, because I'm sure that it would pull in a lot more attention if like a game like Apex Legends did this, or any live service game really, if they went back to the original version that brought in people in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, it's calling for even Call of Duty to bring back Verdansk, for example. Like people are really wanting these old school elements, and even as of last night, World of Warcraft is being rumored to come to the consoles, and maybe that's because outside sources, outside studios are looking at the success of Fortnite and Epic Games and seeing, hey, wow, we potentially have something that we've been kind of getting a little dusty in the back shed, and maybe we need to whip it out, maybe make sure that the motor's running, put a little, fluid in it and get the locomotive rolling and see whether people will grasp towards it. It's been a lot of fun to play it. You're absolutely correct. It is a different style of gameplay for sure. It definitely feels very scarce. A lot of people have been commenting about how it's like, man, you can't even really find health or shields. I think that's the biggest difference. But if you really want to piss off OG fans, just bring back the mechs. But nobody liked it. So, I mean, it's only going to be available for this month. I believe it ends on December 3rd. They're going to be throughout the week implementing more different items. Like they're going to bring back the bib plane, which was a pretty fun vehicle. Yeah, I know the golf cart's on there right now as we speak. But hey, if you haven't jumped on like HenricK the Wreck, what the hell are you waiting for? Fortnite OG is back, fam.
Absolutely. And yeah, take advantage of the time because it's not going to be here forever.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe you can, reach out to Epic and say, hey, we as the fans want this to stay because we enjoy it so much. And maybe they'll actually listen for once.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like Ninja, for example, is calling that it needs to stay permanent. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. The 10-year anniversary is going to be coming up on 2027. They're going to revisit it then. 2017, 2027. Do the math, fam. It's like perfect for them. They're like, sweet, we don't have to revisit this. It's like the Olympic Games 4 years from now. All right?
Yeah. But hey, Chris, moving on, I guess, what has been happening in 2023 in the industry? And I know we've had a lot of good games, but there's been some stuff going on behind the scenes. How about you fill us in on that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and set the tone because 2023 is frequently being hailed as one of the best years in the medium's history. And when you look at the sheer number of excellent games launching in the past 10 months, that's an easy observation to get on board with. But it's also a year of studio closures and mass layoffs. Even a single failure can cause studios that have been around for decades to close without warning and given no chance at redemption or a way to explore new ideas to bring them back into the limelight. Saints Row developer Volation wasn't only shuttered because the reboot was a failure, it closed down effectively immediately amidst mass layoffs. And also, Epic Games recently let 900 employees go as part of a major restructuring, including Bungie this month, announced that it will be delaying both Destiny 2, The Final Shape, and Marathon amidst a bunch of its own layoffs, despite recently being acquired by Sony, which, let's be real, it's got greater number of resources to work with. And let's go ahead and check out the comments because a lot of people had a lot of things to say when it comes to this incredible year that is bringing to us all gamers. So the first comment that we got is, so are we going to advocate for game developer union? I mean, this has been a heavy topic. I mean, Immersive Interactive might get into the strike here in Hollywood because of the whole name, image, likeness going on. So we will definitely see if the developers will be supported as well. Number 2, all the big companies do is buy smaller studios, force them to push a game out so quickly that it gets panned. Then they reduce the staff because the game got panned, and then they need to, quote, save money. This industry is eating itself. It's kind of been a recession within game studios, either with games underperforming or the estimated profits were overestimated. Also, these mega corporations buying smaller game studios just begs for massive layoffs. Yes, the glory of live service games in the age of mass inflation, low wages, and oversaturation. Hearing that not only was Bungie responsible, but also the fact that they intentionally laid everyone off at the end of the month to circumvent benefits after said developers begged to improve the game is one of the most infuriating things I've ever heard in months. This is why money people should never be in charge. They're vital to support the people in charge and provide reality checks. But if you put the finance folks in charge, everything dies sooner rather than later. And I mean, everybody is wondering like why these massive studio companies are either suffering mass layoffs, including studio closures, considering how 2023 has seen 25 games pull an average score of 90 or more on at least one platform, according to Metacritic. And for the most of the last decade, the average count has been half of that. So what the hell is going on? I don't really have an answer for this, HenricK, but I'm curious, like, what is going on?
Well, I mean, I don't have a exact answer either, but it definitely smells of corporate greed, I will say. And that comment really has something to go off of in that sense, because a lot of these big game studios, the people who are in charge at the very, very top are not actually gamers. They don't go home and play a game that they've worked on or even any other game. A lot of them, they just are counting the money, making sure that the bottom line is good. And if the bottom line's not good, they got to go pull the money from somewhere else. And they're definitely not going to pull it from their paychecks because lo and behold, even if they make, millions of dollars, they're not going to give that millions of dollars back to the company. They need to get their yacht. They need to get
it sounds like they want a quick
their
return.
Extra yacht even. So it's just like, it's a big thing that a lot of corporations come into as a problem when certain economic struggles come around. Like right now, we're having a bit of an economic struggle where housing's really expensive, inflation's really high.
I think that's a good point because I feel like that's for us, but not for
Yeah.
the shareholders. I mean,
No,
I
absolutely
think
not.
the thing is that, I think we have to realize with the games coming out in 2023, I think it's been a proven success that when you expand the development time, because the pandemic warranted that, that's why we're having so many excellent games. And do you feel like the shareholders, they throw their money down and then they expect that they want a quick return? That's kind of what I was trying to get at. Do you see that happening? Because
I could see that happening, but it's not really something reasonable anymore. I feel like at the same time, because when you look at a lot of the AAA games that are coming out, look at Starfield for example. That game took so long to come out. It took what, like 8 years to come out?
Very long.
If a game is having to be taking 8 years to get developed,
that's
to be
a problem.
at that scale, that's not going to be reasonable to say as a shareholder, here's money, now go deliver a game in 2 years. That game's going to come out in a terrible, terrible shape. And we've seen that already in 2023 with games like Redfall. Redfall came out in a terrible shape, and even after updates, it hasn't been fixed. So, I don't know. I feel like the industry needs to reevaluate what its goals are and what its priorities are, because right now it's really just trying to go straight for the money, but that's not going to work, especially when gamers don't care about how much money is being used to make a game.
Yeah.
All they care about is the game fun? And if the game is not fun, it doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, that's an excellent point because I mean, we recognize, there's been a lot of polished remakes and remasters, and so when you think about, the Saint Rose remake, that's how quick it is, fam. Like if the remake doesn't get an instant success within the first month, these indie studio companies, being catered through the AAA studios, will cut you out so freaking fast. It's totally insane. And so when you look at the scope of some of the most incredible games coming out in 2023, like The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, that's got a 96 Metacritic rating. You also got Baldur's Gate 3, which is at 96, which is incredible. CD Projekt Red with Phantom Liberty. The list goes on and on and on. So because you see so much success, it's just amazing to see that the video game industry is as scary as the next game that we're about to be talking about, Silent Hill Ascensions. And so I think this is the perfect cue to move on to the next topic. So, hey, HenricK No Rec, let's go ahead and set the tone, fam.
Well, to switch gears and kind of have more fun with things, man, Konami cannot catch a break, it sounds like. So Silent Hill Ascension is exactly what we all feared. Silent Hill Ascension premiered this month after an 11-year hiatus for the franchise. So there's a lot of hype behind them coming back to it finally. And although according to fans citing various technical issues and poor user experiences, it fails terribly to live up to expectations. It's developed by interactive entertainment company Genvid, or Genvid, one of the two.
I think it's Genvid.
It sounds more like Genvid in my opinion. But the title has seen comparisons to interactive narrative titles like Until Dawn, pretty good game, or Telltale's The Walking Dead. So
that's why people anticipated great things. We like these style of games.
Yeah, like those games have been tried and tested, and they've been well received.
Dark Pictures Anthology,
Yeah, that's another one that still has games coming out for. So there's a precedent for this style of game already. But this game is on a massive scale in comparison to those, where those, you play with maybe 1 to maybe 4 people at the maximum. But this one, it's like if Twitch chat was in control of the entire game, or at least supposedly.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, no, it's true. It literally does look like a Twitch chat playing along.
Yeah, which has been done too. They've had there's been streamers out there who've said, "Oh, I'm gonna stream Pokemon, but Twitch is gonna be in charge of making sure that my character moves in the right direction and does the right things," and that's fun. But this, we have a clip, and we can just play that because the clip will say a lot as is.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look.
Wait, season pass? Why is there a season pass? Oh no, you're doing quick time events. Buddy, stop moving. Buddy. Oh I'm out. Hello, Fozzie. Hello. Hello, Fozzie. Oh my god. Bruh.
How do you even focus on the story when the stickers and the chat is moving so rapidly? And I understand that's what they wanted out of this experience, but the subject of outrage for many fans in its own right, with some users taking to social media to criticize Konami's monetization of the title, which the company originally hailed as the ultimate comeback for the Silent Hill franchise. Well, we're going to show you some comments. It doesn't necessarily sound like it's going the way that they anticipated. So the first comment that we got here is, Konami are the masters of horror. Nothing is more terrifying and psychologically disturbing than watching your favorite franchise become a lifeless gotcha season pass monster.
Oh man, what a trooper.
Right? Seems to be a trend nowadays that people with power never understood the franchise, and now the incompetence is blatantly obvious. I can almost guarantee that Silent Hill is going to have a crossover with Fortnite. James and Pyramid Head are going to be riding the battle bus together in no time. I mean, it's the biggest day ever. Why not? So I watched Bob Vid streaming this on Twitch, and he was responsible for Konami's tummy message. He actually got his viewers in chat to spam the Ascension chat with that message, thinking it wasn't going to work. Yet Konami's moderation is so non-existent that it actually worked, and it was glorious. They kept saying like "tummy in my tummy."
Yeah,
I have no idea what that means, but clearly it went viral.
Oh, you summer child.
Right. Konami somehow managed to make a mobile game that is actively worse and with less gameplay than Hogwarts Mystery. I didn't think it was possible. More than angry, I'm just so brokenhearted. Why do they insist on making us think it can't get any worse and proving us wrong? The fact that they live streamed to defend the microtransactions was an insult to injury too. And with like the screenshot, this is a real screenshot of Silent Hill Ascension. Anyone, quote, excited, end quote, for this is completely out of their mind or just not aware of what it is. Spend money to vote on what weekly pre-rendered cutscene you get to watch on a streaming service. This is awful. And yeah, that is a problem. There's been a lot of people reporting, especially with the very first episode, that you have to pay for the season pass. You're going to get those stickers that were dropping through the feed, which is super annoying. I don't understand the whole catch to that. But you're supposed to get influence points. And with those influence points, you can cater to the story to where it's going to go. But it would sway to one side, and then they start playing the wrong cutscene. Like, are they already... Like, they were hyping this, HenricK, as if you, the fans, get to set the franchise in a new direction. You were going to help the developers send Silent Hill into a new era. But then diehard fans are coming in going, didn't you want to hear from us? We're not even getting that experience. Yeah, I have to pay $20 and you're still not listening to me? Hello? So what do you make of this whole interactive experience? It's kind of sad considering how, like, Borderlands, for example, next year is going to do their Miles event, kind of doing something similar, I believe, with GenVid 2, if I'm not mistaken. So that's insane. What's your thoughts on all this? How can they get this game all so wrong?
Well, Konami, if it was not Konami doing this, it would probably have a decent chance of actually being a good game. But Konami has not known what the hell to do with games since Hideo Kojima left their studio. Like, ever since, I believe that was 2015 or 2016, and they've been on a downward spiral in terms of making games that I just don't really hit the mark. Like they, you know, okay, so Hideo Kojima was always known as the Metal Gear Solid guy, and before he left, he even said, "I'm working on a Silent Hill game with Guillermo del Toro," and that was awesome. If you ever played PT, that game that you could download for free on PS4, that game was awesome. But after he left, they said, no, we're not working on that anymore. And then ever since, they've been on hiatus on touching this series.
Yeah.
The only thing they've really done was pachinko machines, because that makes them money. That's gambling, basically. But aside from that, just working on pachinko machines, they also decided to even do a Metal Gear game, and they didn't even know what to do with that. They completely missed the mark on that. So yeah, Konami is just not the game studio to really make a promise on making a game like this and make it good. So it really leaves me with the feeling in my mouth of, is the other Silent Hill games going to be just as bad as this, or are they going to be acceptable?
I don't think they're ever going to revisit this, at least Silent Hill. I know Borderlands, I did double confirm it. They are with Genvid Entertainment, going to be launching their Echo Vision Live. That's going to be dropping next year. So hopefully they learn something from this, because they got a whole full-length movie that's going to be dropping at the same time. And so when you have a live stream event like this bomb for a second time before the release of the film, whoa, that would be not good at all. And I know a lot of people have been climbing the whole season pass for $19.99. You can get a little bit more influence points. There are like little interactive puzzle games you can play, but I've been seeing clips online where like people would have to like try to play a song through the guitar, and you're supposed to press the buttons, but people just start flailing on the buttons and it still completes it. Like, people are like, this is so stupid.
A season pass for this kind of game? What's your problem? Why are you putting that in the game?
Well, I guess I feel like they see what Telltale's is doing, right? I think everybody's going to try to visit this. Like, I think about Netflix's Black Mirror. I mean, when they had that interactive experience where you can use your TV remote and you can click along, so you can say, hey, choose choice A, choose choice B. I feel like this is going to be a future for cinematic storytelling. It's not always going to be just animation. I bet they're going to get live actors and they're going to start implementing this. But then again, this is a Rage Quit video game talk show, so we got to keep all things gaming. I totally believe Netflix Games has got something up their arsenal with a brand new IP, and they're going to develop it. They'll probably do it a lot better than Genvid. I'm sorry. We were hoping that you were going to make it work out, but with this kind of first adaptation right now, man, it is very, very tough to watch. But hey, maybe they learn from these mistakes. But the fact that they had to jump on a live stream to justify why they need microtransactions, it's just like, if it's feeling so hardcore, you might as well I don't know. Nah, they couldn't even do that either. They gotta pay them play. I'm like, just give it away for free. If it's taking that bad. But I get it. Everybody needs the dinero at the end run. But with such an iconic franchise, with 11-year hiatus, as HenricK the Wreck referenced at the very top of this topic, I mean, that's just so unacceptable. So unacceptable.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone was excited that Silent Hill was coming back because they haven't touched it in forever. And, they're working on that remake, and I believe they're working on another actual game as well, not an interactive experience.
Right.
But even that Silent Hill remake has gotten criticism already for it changing the feel of things a little bit too much. So it really, after seeing this especially, leaves me with does Konami actually know what they are trying to do? Like, do they know how to make a game anymore? And I mean, we'll see. We'll see when, other things in this interactive space come out. We'll see if they hit the mark or not. I don't know. I'm skeptical on it personally. I'll have to wait and see when something good comes out. But as it stands, I'm not sure I'm really sold on the idea.
No, I totally feel you. And for all the gamers that want to at least experience Silent Hill Ascension for yourself, they're going to be releasing new episodes on a monthly basis through the game's official mobile app and online. So if you want to join in on the fun or be just baffled at such a delivery system. You can still do it for free. It's not like you have to pay to do it. We're just clowning the concept of this quote unquote season pass. But hey, I mean, what a badass show we just had today on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a live show. And HenricK the Wreck, where can they check you out on social media?
Yeah, so I post on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And every Friday, I hit either my in-games or games in development soapbox. Had a tongue twister there for a second.
Yeah, it happens.
In development soapbox series or games to play. And this week is in development soapbox, which is my chance to take a look at a game that is in development still and looks really cool and needs a little bit more love from the fans. And yeah, we'll see how that goes this week. I'm sure there's something really interesting left in store.
Come on now, we definitely know. And that's why you got to like and subscribe to HenricK the Wreck's channel. He's got a lot of great content coming your way. And if you want more entertainment news videos, go ahead and check out the ChrisCollinsShow.com, as there's so much content. Man, check it out for yourself. You're going to see what's good, fam. And we, again, thank you. This show, gamers, wouldn't be possible without you guys. And we will see you next Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Have a great rest of your weekend, fam, and we'll see you later. Peace.
See ya.